my name is Kimberly Amaya, and welcome to the second episode of the Beyond Her podcast. This podcast is where I get to interview guests who I feel have made an impact on my life, who could really make an impact on your lives, the listeners, and are just really powerful people, you know, who hold like strong weight in the world and whatever background and journey that they've had. So today I have Miss Melinda Walls.
Yes.
Miss Melinda. I have Melinda. Mel or Melinda?
Either one.
Either one?
Usually Mel, because a lot of people always call me everything besides Melinda, like Melody, Melissa.
I didn't know
Michelle.
your full name was Melinda, but that's so pretty.
Yeah, thank
Melinda.
you.
I like it. Okay, but Mel,
Mm-hmm.
I met you, or actually, let you introduce yourself. I'm over here trying to give your background on you. Go ahead, introduce yourself to the people.
So, again, my name is Mel, but my full name is Melinda. I've been in the fitness industry probably for as long as I've had a job. So 19 years old.
Wow.
Jeez Louise. But I've always loved fitness, although like I've dabbled in different industries, whether working in retail or being a brand ambassador. It always pulled me back to fitness, mainly because I absolutely love health and wellness, and I've always admired people that worked out, especially when I moved here to California. I'm like, they're always in a good mood.
Yeah.
So, and they look great. So I've always gravitated towards that. So post-pandemic, like I've health coach, nutritionist, and then once I did bodybuilding for a year and a half, I decided to become a trainer as well, just trying to bring everything all in one pot. So with that being said, I introduced myself as a health coach first and personal fitness coach as well. So
That's
being
good.
in the industry for about 5 years, I absolutely love it. I found my passion, and this is what gets me out of bed in the morning.
I love that. That's so cool. How since you were 19?
Well, yeah, my first job, I worked at Planet Fitness in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Planet Fitness?
Yes.
How was that?
It was fantastic. I worked the front desk. I had no idea on how to work out. My favorite machine was the elliptical machine and the Smith machine, and that's it. That's the only thing that I knew. But of course, like being a brand ambassador and everything like that, working in retail, but retail is like Oakley, you know, a sports brand.
Yeah.
And then brand ambassador for Coca-Cola. So, you know, just always talking about like their Dasani water bottles in Vegas, all their expos. But other than that, like I started working at Equinox, Alsay, and Beverly Hills last year. So last August of 2022. I've been there ever since. So now I'm going to start pivoting to becoming more independent, like a private trainer, because I truly believe just with my growth with fitness that it's such a beautiful space, but I literally want to dedicate just more quality equipment and just more private lessons to my clients to help optimize their health overall.
Look at you.
You know?
Okay. I wanted to start with your humble beginnings, because you're not from LA, right?
No.
Where are you from?
Detroit, Michigan.
Detroit. Oh, okay. I thought you said Texas.
Her family lives in Texas.
Okay. I thought I was like, I love people from Texas. So Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah, definitely all over the place. So I'm born and raised in Detroit. I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina when I was 17.
On your own or with family?
My sister.
Okay.
So my older sister, who actually lives in Texas now, she pursued like a job opportunity in Charlotte. And because I was living with her while I was a junior in high school, it was so hard because you should never move a child when she's a junior in high school. He or she. Junior year, you're close to senior year, so you already made a bunch of your friends and everything like that. But because I was living with my sister and my mom did not want me to go to a Detroit public school, she was like, well, you have to move with your sister to Charlotte because absolutely not my baby.
Why? What's wrong with Detroit public school?
It's going from the suburbs back to the ghetto.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah,
take little Mimi to Charlotte with you. Just better educational system. And then from Charlotte, I graduated high school. Then I attended the Art Institute of Charlotte, North Carolina. Then I used that as an opportunity to move to California. And then I found out that the school was no longer accredited. And so I just stayed here and started working for Oakley. Okay. But just recently, probably I believe 3 years ago, my sister moved to Texas. So my sister's in Texas, and then the rest of my family is in Charlotte. But I am born and raised in Detroit.
Okay.
So.
Is that, I'm going to sound dumb right now, is that all in the South?
Texas, is that? You're asking the wrong person. I mean, Texas is 3 hours away. Is that technically the South?
Oh. It's not. I mean, it's in. I wouldn't call it the South. Texas is like Texas. It's definitely.
I don't think any of us.
Well, no, I live there. Texas doesn't consider themselves the South.
Right.
Like,
Okay.
Louisiana is like the start of the South. Like Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama.
Yeah.
South Carolina.
Okay.
So.
I guess my question would have been like, how was like the culture change from you like Michigan, then Charlotte, then coming to LA? Like, were you like, whoa, like
No,
what's going on?
I can adapt easily. Moving to Charlotte, like my family's from Mississippi, so I'm used to like, the culture of just the South in particular.
Yeah.
Let's see, moving to LA for me was just more like starstruck. Like, I don't know if you ever seen the Jackson 5 movie.
No.
Oh my God. Oh. Anyway, so the father that played that, like Joe Jackson, like my first week here, I'm walking down like Magnolia in North Hollywood and I see him just riding down the street. I'm like, oh my God, I'm in LA. I know I've seen that movie so many times and I don't like you, but it's okay. It's just a movie. So just coming here, I was just more excited because I was only 19 when I moved here. And it was just fun, you move or you just change your life and then you just go day by day, not expecting, you're learning new things, you're seeing new things. So for me, it was just kind of like a candy store, I guess, or a protein shop for me in a shape. Because everything was new and exciting. And I was the first person, I'm the youngest of 6 to ever like move somewhere, like take a leap like that, outside of my sister, of course, but on my own, that young, with like $700 in my pocket. So
That's crazy. Who were you then at 19? Were you always like this discipline? Like,
absolutely not.
really? No. Okay.
I admired it, but I had no idea, like, discipline. I've learned that word literally during the pandemic. So I always wanted to do something or go into, like, let's say, for example, when I saw my first bodybuilding show when I was 21, I'm like, how in the world? I'm like, everybody must be on drugs, because there's no way that rice and tilapia made you look like this. But not understanding that it takes discipline, it takes time. You pretty much have to cut everything's non-negotiable. Like, you have to do it, otherwise you're not going to place well, let alone win. So for me, like, especially re-educating myself during the pandemic, it was like more so like an aha moment. It's like, it makes sense. But in my earlier years, I would say I would just go with the flow of everything. I was kind of like a butterfly in the wind, just trying to see what works for me. That's why back then I did a lot of different things, whether it's retail, brand ambassador, pickup gigs, bartending back then. I never really had an idea of what I really wanted to do, but I just wish I could understand how to maneuver in the fitness industry.
Yeah.
And back then I was super skinny too, so I just thought, like, okay, maybe, I don't know. That's why I always thought, like, maybe these beautiful women are all taking steroids, because there's no way I do the elliptical and Smith machine every day and I still look the same. But I never understood, like, the importance of nutrition. Lord have mercy, that's a game changer.
Yeah.
A game changer for your overall health in general, not just for the aesthetics, but oh my God, like depression, everything, all nutrition.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm just so excited to be able to, like, today be a walking billboard for everything, because I had to put myself through it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be confident enough to explain it to the next person, to be like, well, you have to keep pushing through, because I know it works. If I can do it, you can do it. I look like olive oil from the Popeyes. Now I'm like Superwoman now. You know what I mean?
Not olive.
Yes. I've had a lot of nicknames growing up. That's my favorite.
Oh my
Only
God.
because my uncle called me that. So I'll
That
take
is
it.
so funny. What was the switch for you where you were like, I need to get serious? Like,
Honestly, it was more so re-educating myself during the pandemic. So now I'm excited. I understand it. Although it's still hard. Even during the pandemic, I still didn't really understand macros. I'll look at the numbers and I'll cross my eyes, because I'm like, I can't understand this. But the switch for me, when I used to work at this private gym in West Hollywood, one of the trainers, I just walked by, he's sitting on a couch. He was like, yeah, I just hired a online coach. I'm going to do bodybuilding. All I heard was, I'm going to start doing bodybuilding. I'm like, what? Really? Who's your coach? You're training with him in person? He was like, it's all online. I'm like, how is that even possible? I need somebody to help me. So he gave me his information. The moment I spoke to my coach, Julius, I'm like, well, forget it. Let's do it. Like, I didn't even think about it. I just sent him the money. I'm like, what's the worst that could happen? Whatever, let's do it. But for me, after seeing, like, having my nutrition plan, seeing the workouts, I've learned so many different ways to train through bodybuilding. But for me, like, just watching my body change week after week, I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, if it only literally took me understanding my macros to do this and get to this level, I'm in. This is it. I found my passion.
What about bodybuilding, like, attracted you?
Honestly, because I absolutely love doing photo shoots. And here's the thing, actually. I loved modeling back in the day. But I didn't love the industry.
Yeah.
I didn't really like the stuffiness of it all. And everybody walking around with their chest up. And, it's just the heels hurt my feet. Like, oh, my goodness. I couldn't walk. Call me Bambi back in the day. But bodybuilding, you have to work for it. You know what I mean? You have to change your body. Being on stage, the entire time I'm trembling. I'm shaking like a leaf. But you can't tell because every day I'm in the living room practicing my poses for 2 hours a day. And posing is harder than training. And then mostly it's just like, it's kind of like preparing for, what would I compare it to? It's hard to compare it to anything. It's just like you put in all this work for 12 weeks. Finally, you're at your peak. It's peak week, which is the week before your show. So your calories, like everything's getting low body fat. You're checking in with your coach every day instead of every week. And then finally you put on that bikini. And then you put your heels on and you're already knowing what your hair is going to look like. And you're getting dressed up in a show day. And I'm like, wow, now we're here. It's officially going to happen. And in bodybuilding, bikini specifically, or just every division, you go by last name and height. So my last name is Walls, and I'm tall. So I'm used to going last, especially like graduating high school and everything. So it's like a long day of anticipating getting on stage. And then finally, once I'm up there, I'm like, girl, just smile. Just keep smiling. Do your pose. And like after my first show, when I placed like first place, like 3 first place trophies, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is it. Like, I love this. It's just the work that you put into it, and then you are successful with it. And then I'm qualified my first show to go off to nationals. And then I go off to nationals and I placed top 5. And then my final show that I did last May, which I thought was my best package, but they wanted me to develop more upper body, actually they said I came in bottom dominant, and I'm like, that's a compliment. I've never heard that before. But just develop more. You're perfect, your presence, everything is great, we just want more. And I'm like, thank you, I'll take my time, I'll get back into it whenever I want. But I've never heard like you're bottom dominant. For me, that was just a win altogether. And I'm ready to eat. I'll see you guys whenever I decide to hop back on stage.
Yeah.
But all in all, it's just more so of just putting in that work. And I mean, it's just trophies, but for me it's like, girl, you really, really did something that is very challenging. Yeah. And congratulations, because you saw people for the first time when you were 21 years old. You thought it took drugs to do it, but it only takes nutrition, consistency, and discipline. And hello. Yeah. You slayed 2 shows out of 3. That's a win for me.
For sure. Yeah, 100%. What was the hardest part during training? Because I mean, I find it hard right now when me and Edwin are meal prepping. I'm like, I just want a burger. I just want a burger, please. And we're having like air fried chicken.
Ooh,
with
yes.
some.
I had fried chicken the other day. It just did not bust. It was
air fried, not fried chicken. We had
look at me. I'm like, the fried chicken.
I would love some fried chicken, but
Louisiana style.
No, seriously. The hardest part of bodybuilding, I honestly don't want to sound cliche, but I didn't really find it that challenging because I loved what I was doing. Honestly, probably like being tired after work, taking a nap, and knowing like, Melinda, if you take a nap, you might either oversleep or you will have to rush through your workout at the gym. So that is like having that, like, okay, I know I'm tired, but I have to go back into the gym, and it's like 5 o'clock. Shame on me. I should have trained at 5 a.m. because we know it's going to be packed there. And probably not having my food already prepared, because there's no better feeling of killing your workout, coming home and knowing you can just grab and go, versus, now I got to meal prep, I'm tired. Okay, but either way, you still got to do it. I always thought, like, I'd rather do this now. I'd rather do everything that I need to do, and however I place is whatever at that point, because I know I did everything I could to look my best.
Yeah.
So it really wasn't that hard for me. I guess, I was just bored. But honestly, I started bodybuilding like when we started to open up a little bit after the pandemic. So I was already used to not doing anything.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm like, oh, I want to go out. We were shut down for 2 years already. So
yeah.
why not add another year to it?
Right.
Because I did it for a year and a half after that.
Okay. So, I mean, you were super disciplined then to be a bodybuilder, like eating, working out, 5 a.m., waking up, meal prepping the night before, and still going to work, and or was it pandemic when you weren't working?
So during the pandemic, I was working at a private gym.
Yeah, okay.
They weren't completely open.
Yeah.
But they were open. But I was the general manager at the time, so it's easier. It's not like I really had to turn on for people. I just had to make sure, okay, everything's good, the team's good, everything's clean. All right, I'm going to sit at the desk. Call me if you need me. That's it. I'll check people in. But so it really wasn't that hard. If anything, I just got tired of sitting down and I needed to walk around or do something.
Yeah.
That's why now, like, of course, like I have so many friends. Like I have 2 friends that just got qualified for Olympia. A lot of girls that went pro that I know, and I'm like, oh, I just want to get back on stage. I really do. But now that I'm a trainer and that I'm like on, and I still have to focus on feeding myself for the most part, that's why I'm taking my time, because if there's any source of stress that can really affect your whole game when it comes to competing, you literally have to have little to no stress and be on point with everything. Because your cortisol, you're going to just, retain water. As women, we'll retain water. It'll just throw off your entire A game when it comes to competing.
If you're stressed?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
no
stress. I'm retaining water. That's what it is. That's why I can't lose the lower pouch. Everyone's stressing me out. What do you think was the hardest habit to drop during like your time, like building yourself up and...
Well, we all have our vices, and mine outside of bodybuilding, not with bodybuilding.
Or whatever
in
point,
general,
like just getting it to like. Mine
is like the going out and drinking tequila.
I love tequila.
I know, but that is a vice that I'm like, I know once I have, I'll just have a cocktail, and then next thing you know, I slurp that down really fast. I'm like, just give me another one, and then just keep going and going and going. So for me. That's why I just don't do it at all. I don't have alcohol in my home, none of that stuff, because I just know if it's around, then I might drink it. Even like I had a client once, went away to Colombia, brought me in a bottle of tequila. I'm like, oh, this is so nice, but this is staying at work. I'll let them have it because I can't drink this. I can't have this at home. Who knows, I have a day to where I'm stressed from work or just in general. If I see that, it's going to be a trigger for me, so I can't have that in my house. So the hardest thing for me, I would say, is that, but I mean, that's completely cut out anyway. Now.
Was that hard to cut out? Like, did it take time, or were you just like cold turkey, it's out?
Nope. I was told. Like, it's funny. Even yesterday, I had a call from nurse assistant yesterday at Kaiser. I just recently got my blood work done, if not last week, 2 weeks ago. I love getting my blood work done. Shout out to bodybuilding. It's just another healthy habit that I do. But she was telling me, like, Melinda, we found some pretty large red blood cells, which is like either a sign that you either need to cut out smoking, drinking, or you're going to be borderline like anemic. I'm like, what?
Right now?
Right now. I'm like, you called the right person? Are you sure you're talking about me? She was like, look at your chart. We sent you over your results, but it says that your red blood cells are really big and you need to figure it out pretty much. And literally for me, I'm like, and I've recently just been so focused on myself, super like tuned in into my spirituality. I've even tapped in with my sister, who's a life coach. I trained my other sister that's in Texas. I called my mom, so we're all just pouring into each other during the season. And I was talking to my mom, and I'm like, Mom, it's so funny because like ever since I've been praying, everything that I've been seeking has been revealing itself. And I find it so like interesting because just earlier that day, I was talking to, I can't remember who I was talking to, but pretty much I just got irritated because we were talking about like drinking. It's like you can't have both. You can't do both. Pick it, like figure it out. I'm like, I know many bodybuilders that after the show they'll go get drinks and everything, whatever, who cares? And it's just so funny that a few hours later after that conversation I received that call from Kaiser.
That is crazy.
And I'm like, okay, God, I surrender.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let it go. Because at this point I have no choice. My health is at risk.
Mm-hmm.
Never in a million years when I'm at my peak would I think I'll receive a phone call like that.
And you're healthy. You work out every day. You eat well,
Mm-hmm.
and you still come back with like health. Like you're anemic or you're borderline. Like
Borderline.
if you continue,
If
like
I continue, so it's like it's called I don't want to butcher it, but either way, it's you have to have it between 81 to 99.9 fluid ounces. Honestly, it doesn't make any sense. I just saw the numbers. Pretty much, I was 0.5 over of what is okay for the body. And I might be butchering this information, but all I saw was the numbers, and a phone call was more than enough for me. And just seeing that, and I can also see the chart. So last November, and I'm just calculating everything from just the time that I've been working at my new location, and just the habits, of just kind of being excited, like, okay, now I'm finally done with bodybuilding. I can go out more. So crazy. I can go out more. I'm going to spend time with these people, blah, blah, blah. And when I look at my chart from like last November, it was borderline. It was 98.8. And then prior to that in January, or after that in January, again, I stopped. Like I decided to take a step back. I'm not going to do all of this. And it kept going lower. And I'm like, okay, obviously I need to stop, because even last year around Halloween and Thanksgiving, football season, all of that stuff, when I really did go in, it was almost close to where I am today.
That is crazy.
Insane.
Yeah.
So,
is drinking, like, you think, like, an issue, or you just, like, were kind of, like, unconscious of it, thinking, like, it's just...
It was just more so of a social thing. Like, we're all together. We're going to go watch football. We're going to go to the sports bar. Next thing you know, it's, like, halftime. Okay, let's take shots.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, let's take shots. Whatever. It's never, like, a thing to where it's like, oh, I'm struggling and I'm so angry. I'm about to go to the bar and drink.
Yeah.
It's just more so when I did it, I went in.
Just in the environment of it all.
I would drink, yes.
Yeah.
It's total environment, yes.
That is crazy. That's why proximity is so important.
Absolutely.
I learned that the hard way yesterday with Edwin.
Oh, really? What happened?
Yeah, I went I had an old friend reach out, and I mean, just long story short, like, who you surround yourself with, and like you just can't open up those vices,
Yeah.
Especially like when you're trying to continue to elevate. And I definitely, I do believe that God was sending you a message like, hey girl, like, this isn't for you anymore, so cut it out of your life.
Yeah. And I listen to sermons all the time, and I watched one in particular to where the pastor was saying, like, God is going to take it away from you, even if you don't want to let it go. He was like, if you're praying to him and you want to focus on growth and everything like that, but you're still trying to entertain the little occasional Saturdays out, don't worry. He's going to take it away, because he knows where you should be, but you're so uncertain to where he's going to just have to take it from you.
That's
so you
true.
can listen.
Yeah.
And that's why yesterday I'm like, okay, you don't have to say it twice, God. I hear you. I like being here, okay? I still got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. For people that don't know, can you explain, like, what anemia means and, like, what that could look like?
Honestly, I'm not too familiar with it.
Because I always thought that just means you get cold easily.
Right, that's exactly what I thought, too. I'm like, oh, this muscle, I want to stay warm this winter. But honestly, I'm not completely sure.
Okay.
I just...
lack of iron.
Lack of iron.
Oh.
I thought it was like your body doesn't produce enough iron or something.
Oh, okay. But what is that? Do you know, like, the effects of it? Like, what happened?
I know you can bruise easily.
Mm.
I don't know everything about it.
No.
I just know the bruising
Okay.
is one thing.
Bruising and you get cold easily.
Either
Low
way, I
iron.
just want to stay optimal, so I don't want
Yeah.
to figure out or find out what it means.
Yeah, for sure. What's like the plan now? Cut out.
To keep doing what I'm doing and just don't drink anymore.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you think that also means like cutting out like the circle you used to hang out with?
Oh, I
or-
cut them off a long time ago.
Really?
Yeah. That's why it's so funny to me, because it's like everything's moving in the direction that it should be.
That's cool. So what's this next season of your life look like?
This next season is just being more of an entrepreneur, watching myself evolve as a businesswoman, watching my clients evolve as powerful athletes. I'm going to call them athletes. And just pouring into people, you know, even like now, just training my sister. It's the first person. Every time I train someone for free, and this has nothing to do with family, it's kind of like they take it as like, okay, whatever, it's free. But like my sisters text me nonstop, like, what should I buy this? Or same thing like macros and all of this stuff. And hey, I'm available at this time if you're not free. And just seeing her put in all of that effort, I'm like, I'm going to pour into you.
Yeah.
So this next season for me is just to give everything I've learned and also learning from the people that I'm around.
I love that. What do you think was a switch for you to be like, this is what I want to do with myself. This is where I want to go.
Just feeling good. For me, feeling good. I think honestly, just praying about it, finding the clarity for it, and seeing the signs. I just like feeling good, and I don't know if you're really big on like frequency and everything like that, but I can feel when I'm in a space, I'm like, this doesn't feel right. And I'm better alone. I don't mind being isolated. It's like a beautiful, powerful thing to do for yourself to really understand who you are. But I guess my shift is just craving more. I've always been like that. There's the reason why I moved here when I was 19. It's the reason why I stepped on stage, although I was trembling up there. And I did it 3 more times after that. I just want to see myself the way that I've always envisioned, like myself being this powerful woman. And I'm going to just keep moving until I get there. And I want to have children soon, so I want to break the generational curse of, poverty, struggle, addiction, all of that. I know when my dad, he passed away 12 years ago. But my mom always told me, your dad went cold turkey when he was 31. Like, he stopped drinking. I'm like, okay, I got till I'm 31. But, I'm 31 now.
Yeah.
I was still going, but God was like, all right, it's time for you to stop, baby girl.
Yeah.
So for me, more than anything, I just want to keep pouring into people because I feel so good. I feel so whole these days and at peace. And I feel like that's the most important thing outside of money is peace.
Yeah.
Outside of anything else. Once you're at peace and you're finally like tuned in into what you want to do in this world, you're finding your purpose. Who knew? I've always thought when I was younger, like, I can't wait until I know what my purpose is, and this is it.
Yeah. It shows 100%. I think I've told Edwin, I was like, you can tell that she cares as a trainer, because I've had trainers before. I've trained with trainers, like, at Equinox here and there, and I'm like, you could tell, like, you're just here for the hour, and then half of this hour I'm on the goddamn Stairmaster. Like, we ain't doing nothing here. Like, nothing is happening.
Yes.
But, like, you can tell when people care and, like, they genuinely want to see you grow. And I've seen, like, I'm always so jealous that Edwin gets to train with you because I'm like, I just know if I trained with Mel, like, I would be, like, my body would be on point right now, And you can tell in his physique, like, Edwin has transformed so much,
Yes.
like, his body and everything. And I find it so funny because he told me there was a guy in the Equinox locker room who was like, how is it like being trained by a girl? And I was like,
A girl. That's
or
Superwoman.
yeah, I was like, she could probably lift more than you, dude. Like, relax.
The strongest legs in the building, baby.
Yeah, exactly. do you find like that's like what is it, bias in the fitness industry a lot? Like, do you think, like, as a female in the industry, is that like a thing for you guys?
It is, but people don't know what they don't know. I mean, guys are used to being trained by strong, brolic men.
Yeah.
Women, if they don't want to appear or get bulky, they'll find the trainer that is probably not as big or probably more soft. For me, I think it's all comical because at the end of the day, it's just like, do you want to get in shape or not? It's all about obviously education, but I believe experience is the holy grail of everything.
Yeah.
We learn, and then forget 6 months down the line. But the experience is beyond everything. So, of course, men will have their reservations of being trained by a woman, but that's why when I first started working there, my first 6 months there, I made it a point to make sure I trained whenever it was busy, whenever it's quiet, so the regulars could see me. Like, you guys need to see these shoulders. I don't only train legs. I can teach you how to, hit those rear delts, get those caps on your shoulders, because I never had shoulders.
Yeah.
Now I had to build some shoulders to match the bottom heavy part,
Yeah.
So it's definitely a thing, but people want whoever they want. I just kind of look at it like that. I don't really get offended by it because I have had someone say, you know, I would have chosen you, but I prefer to have a man. I'm like, okay, have fun.
Yeah.
I'll see you in 6 months.
Right.
I've seen him squat. Have fun.
Did they end up coming to you after? Or
no, he's still with him.
And
he's, you know, God bless.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah.
That's so cool, because I know when I had like the session with you, I was like, I didn't even know I had these muscles in my glutes. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
We just know the little tweaks.
Yeah.
And even still, again, like, because of bodybuilding, I know if I never did bodybuilding, I probably would have never became like a trainer, because I would not have that confidence.
Yeah.
Like, I would have to train at 5 o'clock in a busy gym and substitute everything because almost everything is taken. So it's also that. And whenever I have a sit down with a girl, especially, I'm like, by the time I'm done with you, I want you to own the floor.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be intimidated that it's 6 p.m. and all the bros are, you know, all by the dumbbells or the deadlift platform. I want you to know exactly what to do, be tunnel vision, and do what you have to do and leave. And I love that. And guys are usually intimidated by that, but who cares?
Yeah. I feel like it must be so rewarding for you to see, like, when it's kind of like they're graduating, you know, like when you've trained them for so long, and then they're like, okay, I can do it myself.
My little cubs. Yes.
So cool. Do you also like train on nutrition and stuff? Because that's definitely been a game changer for me and Edwin, like when you helped us out with like our meal plans.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that I have bread now in my meal plan.
Yes, girl, you better eat that cinnamon bread.
Yes,
no,
it's so
a
good.
bagel, right?
Huh?
You have the cinnamon bagel.
No, I got the Ezekiel bread. They're like bread slices.
Oh, the Ezekiel, the cinnamon one.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that right?
Is it? Yes.
Okay.
Is it? How do you like that one?
It's good. I
Okay.
love it.
Okay.
With the almond butter on it. I'm like,
girl.
oh my gosh. So Edwin's like, this doesn't look healthy. And I was like, well, if Mel said I could eat it, like.
Straight to the glutes.
This is booty bread. That's what I call it. Like, this is booty bread. Do not mess with it.
Yeah.
Give me my booty bread.
So as far as like coaching people through nutrition, I pretty much try to give them as much information that they can understand, because again, it took me about almost 2 years to really understand it myself.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I just give people, like, don't even think about it. Here's a meal plan. Stick with this. Do this first, and then I'll dive into it a little bit more with you. Because what's the point of explaining something so thorough or in depth with someone if they don't really put in the work for it first? So because once people start seeing results, that's when they're like, well, how did that happen? Versus tell me how and everything, because it's just going to be information overload.
Yeah.
So usually I'll just sit down, uncover their goals. What is it that they really want to achieve? Give them a meal plan, stick with this for 4 weeks, and then, you know, we'll just move forward that way. Because I've helped so many people spend so much time, even like an hour and a half, explaining things, creating things for free. To look on Instagram on a Saturday after that conversation to see, oh, they turning up, they outside.
Yeah.
They are outside. All right. So
yeah.
I just kind of dialed back with that, because nutrition, you know, is so hard it could be a lot of people vices, you know, so people have things with sweets, eating sweets, or, you know, I was at a restaurant last week, and the bartender was like, this is Mel. She works over at, Equinox, whatever. She's a great trainer. And she was like, okay, but I'm not going to give up drinking. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'm not telling you to stop drinking completely, but if you're drinking like 4 glasses of wine 3 times a week, then I'm probably not the coach for you, because you're just going to keep pedaling backwards. And that's it's pretty powerful to kind of politely say no.
Yeah.
Thank you. Again, because it's, you know, that's the type of client that will be a very difficult client moving forward. So I don't ignore the signs anymore.
I love that, because that's like the same thing with like mentorship. You know, I know Edwin has gone through like his candidates for his coaching program, Underdog Coaching, where he's turned people away because he's like, no, I can tell you're not ready, and this would be more of a struggle versus like me helping you and like you seeing results. Like, but there's people that like that lady, like if you would have helped her or if you would have taken her on as a client and she wouldn't have gotten results, it would have been your fault, and like you're not working. And it's like,
or she would have gotten annoyed with me from telling her to cut back on her Chardonnay.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, you don't get a headache from that? I do not like white wine.
Yeah. So when you jump into like this whole fitness journey and everything, do you have to eat like 7 days a week, like food, meal prep, like boring is what I call it?
It is. I mean, I don't call it boring.
Like, at what point can you enjoy food?
You can enjoy your food So my thing is, I don't believe in like dietary like restrictions. Like, I don't want you to feel restricted from eating.
Like, can I eat a burger today, please?
Did you work out today?
I didn't.
Then you cannot have a burger today. I like to tell people, like, by the end of the week, like, have one of your favorite things.
Okay.
But the thing is, like, you better than anything. I'm not there with you throughout the week. So if you're going to have that burger knowing that you did not hit at least 3 to 4 times of fantastic training, then, you're going to be like, Mel, can you update my program again? Because it's like, why even do it? I'd much rather have you make your own burger at home. Go buy the buns, get the cheese, whatever, because you know what you're putting in your body. But you don't really know what you're getting at the restaurant most of the time. Again, even myself, like when I eat poorly, my God, I break out. My nails are terrible. Like everything is bad because my body's so used to eating all of the right things, which is probably why I also received that phone call yesterday. So once I keep eating or putting in the bad things, my body's going to react instantly, which I believe is probably a beautiful thing to happen.
Yeah.
Because consider if I was unhealthy and I continue to do it, that's why so many people are sick these days. But with that being said, like myself, like I can, if I wanted to, I would go and have like a huge pie of pizza and a nice cold beer. But I know I can't have that beer anymore. And what's the point of having a pizza when I know it's just going to make me feel groggy tomorrow? I haven't trained today. Even for myself, I do not eat bad if I do not train. Because I feel like, well, you were lazy today. Why do you think you deserve to eat a burger or go to In-N-Out? You did nothing.
Yeah.
So I guess that's just, I don't know, my way of holding myself accountable. But my food is bomb. I love cooking my food. It's so good. And every time I eat anything else, I'm like, man, I could have cooked this better.
Yeah.
I just wasted $45.
Your food always looks good when I see it on Instagram, like your little meal preps. I was like, okay. You need to drop a cookbook because I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Yes, cookbook coming soon. I'm literally thinking like, oh, I can't wait to go home and cook my bison and Wagyu meat, make some linguine, like literally.
Wagyu?
Yeah.
We're eating at Mel's tonight.
I was feeling a little fancy when I was at the grocery store last week.
That is crazy.
Is it Wagyu?
Wagyu.
Either way, tomato.
Yeah.
Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Wagyu. I love Wagyu. I only had it once. I'm like, I love Wagyu. I had it one time. But that's so cool. I think I'm so excited for you to jump into like this next entrepreneur like part of your journey because you have so much value, like cookbooks, fitness videos, like personal coaching, and I see you're doing online coaching too, right?
Yes.
I saw that and I was like, okay, bi-coastal, international.
Yes, my client, he has been with me for almost a year, so that's my first consistent client. I think he tapped in right when I first started working at Equinox.
Yeah.
Because I had just finished bodybuilding. I just came back from vacation. He was like, are you sure you can get me there? I'm like, text me when you're ready. Don't ask me that stupid question. Of course I know. Have you not seen my journey in the past 2.5 years? Of course I know. Whenever you're ready, though, then let me know. Tap in. I'll send you all the information you need.
Yeah.
And he's been nonstop ever since he signed up.
That is so cool. You're like, don't worry about me. I was like,
Right,
you let me know when you're ready.
Bro? How dare you?
That's so cool. Oh, man, I had a question and then I just blanked right now because that was... It's going to come back to me right now. Okay, yeah. So, Edwin has shown me your transformation. Crazy from like when you first started in the gym to like where you're at now. I'm like, that's so inspirational. It's like all the skinty girls out there because it's like we can do it too.
We can.
But were you intimidated? Because I know when I first started in the gym, I was like, I'm not gonna go to I was notorious for going downstairs. I'm like, I'm a Stairmaster and then I'm downstairs and I stay on like the little machine, the cable machines and everything. If you could go back and like look at like yourself when you first started in the gym journey, like what's one thing that you wish you knew then that you know now?
Honestly, as long as I've been in the gym, I've always had a trainer. So even, that's another thing too. My mindset when I wanted to get into the gym, I'm like, well, I can't afford a gym membership. I'll just work at a gym. I'll work the front desk. Then my general manager was in bodybuilding when I was 19, so I'll work out with him. And then I moved to LA. And then I, again, met somebody or kind of dated a guy in the past that was doing competitions too. And so once I was finally stable enough to afford a trainer, because I will always go into the gym and use the same machines, the leg press, Smith machine, and the elliptical. I'm like, nothing's changing. And I don't know how to use anything else, so I'm going to just, whenever I can, I'll invest in a trainer. So ever since then, even when I lived in Boston in 2015, I saw my old coach AJ at a pool with his freaking big lunch bag. I'm like, I want to hire him as my coach. Kind of like how Edwin was, like, trying to find a new coach. So that's exactly who I need to tell me what to do. So, and mainly because I wanted to learn the machines. And I just wanted to, like, learn quickly. I don't want to sit here and dabble around for years. Teach me how to do it.
Yeah.
And it's just the only thing that's different from then to now is that having a discipline and understanding nutrition.
Yeah, for sure. So if someone, like, to give advice for someone who's, like, just starting out, walking in the gym, sign the contract for Equinox, like, you're like, what's the first thing you would tell them to, like,
I'll say take advantage of, like, your complimentary session. Make friends with people that you see are there consistently. If you cannot, like, afford a personal trainer, make friends with someone that you see there all the time doing the exercises that you want to know. People aren't going to say, like, no, don't bother me, I don't want to work out with you. People will feel flattered unless they're just kind of like, you know, mean people. But other than that, just, and like the YouTube, like, learning stuff online is hard because you don't really know your body. That's why I always recommend being with someone, having an accountability partner. But more than anything, I would just try to tap in, even if you see trainers at the gym. I'm sorry to bother you. I know you're probably on a break right now, but can you teach me this exercise I saw on YouTube really quick? Ask questions, find somebody, see a body type that you like, and if you can't afford it, just see if, hey, can I buy you a lunch if you show me this really quick? Or, I'm sorry to bother you, here's a Celsius, if whatever you can do. People will help because they'll feel flattered more than anything.
I love it. That's really good advice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that.
Of course.
So you're going to start your new business on your own. You're branching off. What's it called?
So I'm still working on that because King Edwin over here told me my name shouldn't be in it. But I love Mill Method Training.
I liked it too because I don't know where you posted it, Mel Method Training, and I was like, that's so cool.
I'm like, okay, because there's a method to my madness.
Yeah, maybe just method training. Is that taken?
Oh, that's taken. I was up last night typing it in on. I always type it on Instagram first to see if it's a username available. Then I'll search on Google. I'm like, okay, this is going to take some time.
Yeah.
So a name is still in the process, but I'll probably still use like Mill Method Training and like
meantime
as a hashtag in the
meantime.
I
like that. Yeah. Okay. It's a hashtag kind of like for the gym. It's like winners focus on winning is our tagline. You know, so that could be like your like tagline for it.
Yeah.
That's cool. When are you officially like on your own?
At the end of the month. We're in September. Yes, at the end of the month.
At the end of this month. So well, first, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and just spitting some knowledge on us and sharing your journey with us as like in fitness, nutrition, and as a person. I am I'm like one of your biggest fans. I'm very excited to see like this next journey in your life, and once I build my team up at the gym, like to be able to like have more freedom and go and train with you personally one-on-one, because I am ready for you to destroy my body and build it back up all over again. But where can people find you, and how can people get in touch with you for nutritional health, fitness, personal training? Okay, so you can definitely find me. I'm very active on Instagram, and my name is Mel Walls, so MEL.WALLS. And I will be training out of a club called OPVS in West Hollywood. It's so nice. Oh my God, they have 2 locations, and the second location they're still building, but it's like it's just perfect for a private gym. Yeah. Like, especially to step outside of whatever people are used to. It's just perfect, nice and private, clean, is aesthetically beautiful. I love it. So definitely, as far as advice, like send me a message on Instagram. I'm always checking my messages. So that's how you can find me. Well, thanks guys for tuning in to another episode of the Beyond Her podcast. You guys make sure to please like, share, and subscribe, and comment if you enjoyed today's content. Thanks. Thank you.